Welcome to the Roo Dits and Loz podcast, kept hot by Ream. You can listen to this podcast anywhere you like, even in the shower. Ream, Australia's favourite hot water.
This is The Bump, the one podcast SA footy fans need to hear, where the biggest names tackle the biggest South Australian footy stories. Roo, Dits, Bernie, Jars, Triple M's The Bump.
Roo, Bernie and Dits this week. Wow, 99 points, 59 points. How easy.
Dean Jones made 99 not out at Adelaide Oval. We were saying that in the last couple of minutes of the contest. Adelaide 99 not out. Does that ever happen? And Dean Jones did it.
Did he?
There you go.
Yeah. Not quite 100. I dead set thought it was a 50-50 game before it started. I was concerned.
Dom Cassisi on Triple M tipped the West Coast Eagles as they bounced the ball. He said they win narrowly.
Poor man. Poor
Yeah,
man.
99 points.
Danger game was danger
It
game.
was.
The way they
Definitely.
played the week before against Melbourne was polar opposites, by the way. But everyone was expecting at least something like that, but they didn't. They just had no pressure on the footy. I don't know if they thought it was just going to happen or what, but nothing like polar opposites from the week before. Max Gawn come out and said after that game, because they played Melbourne and beat Melbourne in Perth.
Yep.
He said that's the best team we've played
Oh,
for
get
the year.
out.
He reckons
What's he
they played
talking
the
about?
best.
Oh, well, they beat
Football.
them by 35
Yeah, I
points.
know.
Best football
I know.
they've played against this year. So,
Led from start to finish.
Yep, and
Yeah,
dominated.
Goody said they beat them in all three phases of the game. They just
Yep.
completely beat them.
and then they were terrible.
All right, now one of the emerging, well, he's already there as a great captain, I think, but Jordan Dawson, one of the good captains in the AFL, isn't he?
Yep, and his game is going to another level because he started out as a half-back flanker. He graduated to the midfield. Now he's going forward, taking contested marks and kicking goals. So he is now becoming the complete footballer. And if he keeps hitting the scoreboard, he'll be in the elite range in the competition.
No doubt about that. Let's hear from Tex Walker on the Triple M Breakfast Show.
He's going very well, Dawson. I love him. He's a ripping fella and his form's been outstanding. It's been a great addition to our group and he's certainly leading the way through the midfield there.
Most contested marks at the club, most inside
good
50s.
mark, isn't he?
Very good mark.
Very good above his head. Underrated, I reckon.
well,
And
it's a new thing that's come out.
I haven't
Because
seen...
when he was at half-back, he wasn't
Yeah.
an intercepting
No,
defender. He just your normal half-back flanker that ran off and used his leg.
Yep.
And then when you're in the midfield, you don't often get a big chance. But
No.
he's going for his marks now. He's not like a midfielder that gets front and square or looking for the crumbs over the back. He lets the long, either centre-half forward and centre-half back go for it, and he comes third man up, or the rucks go and goes third man up. So he's definitely adding another string to his bow.
Contested marking's been outstanding.
Yeah. Is Fogg finally starting to convince people?
He always convinced me. I thought he
Yeah,
was
not
always going to
finally.
get there, but look,
Yeah, but there's a lot of people doubt him, though, Bern.
Yeah, no, you're right. And waiting. But no, I think... Well, last year he did. I think last year he arrived, and this year he's continued it. So, he has some patches where he's really on.
as long as he's moving and working hard, I
Yeah.
reckon he's dangerous because
Yep.
it's hard to stop him. He doesn't have to mark him; he just has to compete and bring it to ground, and he's a handful.
He's skillful, isn't he?
Very.
He could
very.
have had 20 marks on the weekend. I reckon he dropped as many as he took.
Yeah.
But geez, got great skills. Another one. He's pretty good on his left as well.
Yep.
And we know what he can do on his right. I think it's funny. The key forwards play so much better when the side's going better. Have a look at what Adelaide are doing now. Compare how Tex and Fogg were going at the start of the year. Have a look at Geelong at the start of the year. Look at Cameron and Hawkins haven't had a kick for a month now. Their midfield's shut down. The way you move the ball
Interesting,
makes
yeah.
so much difference
Yeah.
to your forwards.
Yeah, interesting. Did Elliot Yeo impress you on the weekend, Roo?
Elliot who?
Elliot, wore number 6 for the West Coast Eagles.
Oh, okay.
Big body mid.
I thought he played all right. Yeah, not too bad.
Yeah.
He had 15, 7 clearances though. His clearance works elite.
He's powerful, isn't he?
Powerful burst from stoppage. Probably didn't have the biggest day with just 15 disposals, but his
I don't reckon
clearance
any of
stuff's
their
good.
mids did they?
Didn't get going at all.
Tim Kelly was quiet early. Harley Reid had 5 touches in the first half.
We did a stat. There were 2 different stats that Dom Cassisi pointed out. I thought this was one of the worst performances I've ever seen from a team. There were 15 players had 2 touches or less leading into quarter time.
Jeez.
They were on track to break the world record for disposals in a game.
Yeah.
Lowest.
That one
And that,
stage.
to me, though, that's a lazy performance, surely.
Yeah.
Even if
Well,
you're getting well
across
beaten.
the board, it was strange.
It was.
just didn't make sense. It was
No.
a 134-point turnaround from week to week.
I reckon it's a classic, got caught up in a bit of their own good work from last week. All in the papers,
Yep.
you know, we're back. And
Do you reckon they're that silly?
they've
There was
arrived.
10 premiership players in their side out in the
there's something
ground.
not right.
there's some young players, though.
Yeah, but
Some,
where's the 10 premiership players
they're all
saying,
saying
don't just
to be-
think it'll happen again
Nah.
next week? They
Well,
can't be
that's-
that stupid.
No, you can't. But you got to look at the results and you got to go, well, what happened?
Well,
How can it change that quick?
Before the game, they were 0-6 on the road
Mm.
at an average losing margin of 61 points.
All right, Crows take on Hawthorn this week. All of a sudden, a hard game.
Hawks are going well and should have beaten Port.
Should have
here
beaten
as well.
Port and beat Brisbane pretty comfortably, really.
Yep. So they've won 4 of the last 5. They would have been 5 in a row if they got over the
Yeah.
line to Port. So
Yeah.
they're one of the form teams of the comp, which we never thought would ever be saying this year. I didn't think
Well,
that.
5 or 6 weeks ago, they were slamming Sam Mitchell in the Melbourne media.
Terrible. How quick does it turn though?
He
does
got it a bit
turn.
wrong against Port too, didn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, he stuffed it up
Late.
big time in that
Late.
last quarter.
Yep. That was the unlosable, and they lost
Yeah.
it somehow. But
Yeah.
no, they're going well. They love the contest.
Genuine
really good.
50-50 game.
Clearance contested footy side, and at the MCG,
Yep.
this you talk about danger games. This is more than a danger game.
Yep.
It's as you
It's a
said,
hard
Reed.
game, yeah.
No, they're good all
But
over
good
the ground.
opportunity for Adelaide at the MCG to stand up. Did it well against Collingwood.
Yep,
Just didn't
they
quite
did,
get it
yep.
done a few weeks ago. But
Yep.
this is a win. It's a
I reckon
must
they
win.
deserve a win at the,
Yep.
at the MCG.
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, before we move on, I don't know if any of you understand holding the ball at the moment. We asked Tex Walker about it on the breakfast
Well, he
show.
wouldn't understand.
I was taught as a young kid, if you got tackled, you have to dispose the ball correctly, which means you need to kick it or handball it.
Yeah.
And now I don't think that is the case.
Officially, or you?
Well,
that's
like for
changed for a
example,
while.
the ruck rule now, it's stoppage or boundary throw-ins or whatever it may be. If you take it out of the ruck and get tackled, it doesn't matter whether you kick it, handball it, drop it, throw it. If you get it out, it's play on.
That rule's changed, and that doesn't make any sense. Before, if you took the ball out of the ruck and then got tackled, it was holding the ball.
Why'd they change that?
I don't even know. I don't even know when they changed it. I
No,
missed
it was
it.
like 2 years ago. You could take it. You used to. If you took it, that was your prior.
That's
so you
right.
tackle them straight away.
So why have
Maybe
they
they thought
changed
that would
that?
clear the congestion a bit if you're allowed to take it and kick it forward. I don't know. But yeah.
Umpires just got to call these holding the balls more. I reckon
Yep.
they're just frightened to call
It's a
them.
simple fix, I reckon. Just call it earlier.
Call it.
Don't
And
worry about all
it'll
this
open
other
the
stuff.
game up.
Call it earlier. Give the ball back quickly, and the game gets moving. I think we might be looking into it a little bit too far. Just pay it earlier.
Yep.
The fact the coach has actually weighed in, like Vossi said, I never comment on umpires, and he did.
Yep.
And Hardwick, look, he was a bit grumpy after a loss, but he quite rightly had a said. I think Brad Scott said
the
it,
week
and
before.
Chris Scott said it. So 4 of the heavyweights speaking up.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to Port Adelaide, shall we? I don't know what you read into the wind down there. They got it done, but look, Jason Horne-Francis for me, I think in time we're going to say that he's the best out of that crop. Of the stars we're talking about, it's a big call, I know, but Butters and Rosie and the like that we're talking about.
And
I
better
think
than them.
this bloke is so explosive,
Yep.
and every week seems to play better and better.
He looks like he's on fast forward.
It's unbelievable.
He is a powerful unit.
Breaking away from a contest.
So
he's-
that pre-season he had, they said he had a great pre-season. He's clearly fitter than he's ever been before. Had a little bit of a tag at times on the weekend and couldn't slow him down. No, he's a genuine star and only going to get significantly better.
I
Yeah.
love watching him.
He's great. He looks like he's just in cruise control too, and he's actually burning players
Yeah.
off. He looks like he's got that much time. He's strong. Another 10 clearances,
Well-
I think it was.
He'll get better down forward too.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm allowed to say he's got shit in him.
Yeah, I like that.
You know, like North Melbourne
Yep.
senior players threw it at him.
Yeah, yeah.
He just lifted.
And he just walked up
rose.
and grinned in their face
Yep.
and just said, well, this is
Yep.
my club now.
Yeah. And he
you
kicked
can get
goals and
stuff."
said, "Cop
Yep.
that."
Bang.
Yep.
I loved it. And that's entertainment for people. People
Yep.
go to watch that stuff. Like the old days, going to watch Port, seeing people being physical.
It's
And
funny. I was sitting on the couch with my brother,
Yep.
who's mad Port like me.
Yep.
And he said, "Yep, keep booing him." And Horne-Francis, you just keep getting the ball
Yeah.
and showing him.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I thought it's exactly what he's
No,
doing.
He
Yeah,
is. And
keep
he's
booing him.
smiling while he's doing
Yeah.
it and enjoying himself, which is great to see. I love watching him. He's almost my favourite player in the comp
Yeah,
behind Rankin.
yeah.
Should be a superstar for the next 8 to 10 years for sure.
Actually, just on this, I should quickly go back and pay a bit of respect to Harley Reid, by the way, in the Crows game. Didn't get a ton of the ball, but Roo, some of the things he did.
At least he stood
my
up in the
God.
third quarter and had a crack when they were getting their pants pulled down. He led the way. He tried to
first
revive it. He had 5 in the first half and then had 8 in the third quarter. Took an absolute hanger.
Yeah.
He goes for his marks and he's got all the tricks.
The goal he kicked in the goal square, where he just brutalised the opposition.
Oh, he's a beast.
For a
he
young
hunts
bloke,
it.
that
He
was
hunts the
unbelievable.
body.
Anyway,
In the fend-offs.
yeah. But
Rochelle.
I'd like to see him and Horn Francis stand each
Yeah,
other.
that'd be good.
Yeah,
They will
I'll pay money
be
to
like
see
two
that.
magnets getting
reckon he could-
drawn to each other. They'll have a blow for sure.
You reckon he could fend off Horn Francis?
Whoa, that'd be good to see.
Yeah, I like it.
I want to mention an unsung hero here for Port Adelaide, Jackson Mead. I think is a massive improver. And a year or two ago, people were saying he's not good enough to be in the side.
Yep.
And now, I reckon he's found his spot.
Yep.
He'll never look back.
Where's his spot?
Oh, well, it's probably in the second tier of the on-ballers when the big ones take
Yeah,
a
you gotta
break.
rotate him.
But his skills
Play
are
half
good.
forward.
He's really courageous.
hard.
He's
Yep.
very courageous and hard.
Yeah, I like him.
And I'm so glad that
Yep.
he's found his
I reckon
spot.
he's solid.
Nah,
He's
really
geez,
good
he's
point.
worked hard to get it. They made him earn his spot.
For
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
Which doesn't hurt
Yeah.
because you appreciate it more. Connor Rosie, he can't play this week, can he? Or he will
Came
play.
home in a
surely.
moon boot.
He will play.
Yeah.
I mean.
Not sure. Yeah, moon
Why
boot,
would you
yeah,
play him in
ankle.
the second half, Burn, when
Nah, I
you're
don't-
clearly in front?
I don't know
if
why
there's
they do
anything
that.
wrong with his ankle.
Dunno,
Doesn't make
obviously-
any sense.
Obviously thought it was going to be right, but that just makes it pull up worse by
That's
going
right.
back
You
out. So,
rest him.
yeah, I'm not
See-
putting him back. I wouldn't have played him at all.
I know
was-
Willie was off, so Willie was off.
Yep.
Right, so you've used your sub.
Yeah.
But you still got a couple of others,
Yeah.
and it's your captain.
Yep.
So in my head, I think he's fine. The moon boot's always just precautionary dits. They do that. And ankles, if you just roll them, you can get them up. It is a short week. They have got the next week off. It's a big game to win. This one,
Big. I would have rested
Carlton.
Rosie with his hammy anyway.
Carlton
I-
Thursday night.
I don't know.
yeah, but
Short
you know what it's
turnaround.
like.
Short turnaround. I'm resting him for Carlton, but that's
You're resting him this week.
No, last week, the North Melbourne trip. The Port were never losing that.
Someone did say to me at golf last week, if you want Rankin to play this week for the Crows, go and see the Port doctors.
What play or
Yeah,
perform, as
yeah,
Craigie
there
would
you
say.
go.
If you want to stuff him up for the year, did you say?
Oh,
Oh, right. Yeah,
Come on, it was only a
look,
joke. Come on
Rosie
to
will
the
play.
Port
Rosie will
doctors.
play this week.
We're only kidding. Yeah.
What else? Port. Marshall kick 5.
He did.
Did he impress you, Dits?
Not yet. Still want to see it against. I want him to kick 5 on Stephen May one day, or Barras, or
Or what about Wiedering this week?
there you go. Although it might be pouring rain, so we've got to cut him some slack. If he kicks 4 or 5 on Wiedering, I'll be.
I'll do a lap nude
super
of Adelaide
impressed.
Oval.
There you go.
Oh,
and I'll
let's
come with you.
write
With my
that
fingers
down.
crossed.
The ruck division now, Soldo is just about ready to come back. What do they do?
No, he comes straight back in.
Straight
for
in?
mine. Yep. One ruckman too, I reckon. One.
Yeah, you can't play 2. You're not going to play him in Sweet.
Nah. So
I think they tried that experiment, didn't they?
yeah.
Yeah, and they left Finlayson out that week.
Do you give Soldo how many
Finlayson
weeks?
will
He
play.
missed? Do you
Huh?
give him a week in the sample straight back?
Who?
He's got to have at least a week. See, I'd
Who's that?
do that this week.
Yep.
Soldo.
Soldo played last week in the SNFL.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, he did.
Yeah. I don't mind Sweet. He
Mm.
didn't have a huge game against North Melbourne, to be honest, but prior to that, I thought he was going all right.
Yes, Soldo's ahead of him though for
Yep,
me.
same here.
And yeah, those two have been fighting, Vicentini and Sweet. Sweet looks like he got the nod. ahead
Charlie
of
back?
him. Charlie back. I think Charlie's the second ruck, and you go with Soldo.
And Finlayson.
Do you know, every time Charlie Dixon goes into the ruck for Port Adelaide, something happens.
Yep.
But the poor bloke, his
can't do
body
it.
won't let him do
No.
it. But, geez, I wish he could.
Save him for special occasions.
Every time he goes in, Port start winning.
Grand final day, do it, Dits.
Yeah, good call.
Radigalia played his best game, or
Yeah.
probably his equal. He played well on Hawkins a couple
He
of weeks
did,
ago,
yeah.
but
Yeah, he's
he
coming
played
into his
better
own.
last week.
He's taking a lot of marks, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he looked good.
Yeah.
So he'll have a big match up. He'll test him out
Jeez.
on Kerno or Mackay.
All right, let's go early. Crows or Hawthorn?
I think the Crows will win
All right, Burn.
in a tough game.
Hawks.
Hawks?
Oh, Bernie.
4
Yeah, I think
points.
they'll be hard to beat over there. Port Carlton.
Jeez, that's tough too.
I don't think I can pick Port, but I'm not big on Carlton either.
Yeah, I think Carlton are good. I'm going with Port from my heart, but I do think
It's a
Carlton
toss
are
of the
good.
coin.
Yeah.
I'm going Carlton.
All
Under
right.
a kick as well.
Okay.
Gee, Doomsday.
Jeez, we've finished on a low there. Bloody hell. All right, you've been listening to the
Hawthorn
bum.
and Carlton burn.
Yep.
Hell.
Just gut feel, Roo.
You hoping you're
Come on.
wrong or not?
Yeah, I hope I'm
Have you ever
wrong.
heard of State of Origin or not?
Yeah,
Who are
okay, Adelaide and
who are
Port.
Melbourne playing this week?
I got no idea.
All right, you've been listening to The Bump. Have a great week at the footy.
Roo, Dits, Bernie, Jars. Triple M's The Bump.